I want to share a word that I wrote back in 2005 titled The Galatian Detour. So in the book of Galatians, Paul's initial plan to visit another city was suddenly changed by the Holy Spirit. Paul's first intention was to visit Ephesus, but he was geared towards Galatia. Some scholars believe that it was due because of his illness. Others believe it was a divine intervention of the Holy Spirit. However, as we read more in Galatians, it is evident that God sent him there because of the spiritual need of the church. Paul had visited the city of Galatia on his first missionary trip, and this would have been his second missionary trip to Galatia. The Galatians were comprised primarily of Gentiles who in the past once served idols or other gods. The churches of Galatia seem to have been composed of mainly converts from heathenism, but partly also of Jewish converts who probably under the influence of Judaizing teachers sought to incorporate the rites of Judaism with Christianity, and by their active zeal had succeeded in introducing the majority of the churches to adapt to their views. According to Galatians 4:8, formerly when you did not know God, you were slaves to those who by nature are not God. But now you know God, or rather are known by God. How is it that turning back to those weak, miserable principles? From this verse, we can see that there was danger with these Christians backsliding back into their old ways. Paul began his letter to the Galatians in a manner different from all other epistles. Although there is a short greeting, there is thanksgiving to God for the Galatians. So this was demonstrating God's love for them. Then he gently began his admonition to the Galatians for having deserted the grace of Christ and following a false gospel. Galatians 1:6 verse 10. I'm astonished that you are so quickly deserting the one who called you by grace of Christ and are turning to a different gospel, which is really no gospel at all. Evidently, some people are throwing you into confusion and trying to pervert the gospel of Christ. It appears that many may have fallen for other doctrines, which were not in accordance to the gospel. We see that there is a sense of urgency coming from Paul to defend the gospel, which was at stake. Secondly, Paul defended his calling and explained how it was a divine revelation by God, not by men. Galatians was written for counteracting this Judaizing tendency of recalling the Galatians to the simplicity of the gospel, and also vindicating Paul's claim to be divinely commissioned apostle. In short, he also proves against to the Jew that men are justified by faith without works of the law of Moses. He emphasized that justification is not obtained by either works of morality or rites or ceremonies, but through divine appointment, and that it is a gift, proceeding entirely from the mercy of God to those who accept it by faith in Jesus Christ. I have read that at that time, Paul was signing all his letter with his own penmanship to avoid any forgery or anyone forging any of his messages to the churches. And again, it was because of the false prophets that he needed to ensure that the church received his authentic works. God is encouraging us all at this time to come and stay true to the gospel of Jesus Christ and become more alert in the coming days of many false teachers that will arise to confuse us and deviate believers away from Christ. God bless.